Welcome back to Hockey Unplugged. I'm Carson and I'm here with Jack Shy, and we have Jayden on again for our little kind of series of just standings predictions. We're doing the Atlantic Division. This is the last part, so I'll let Jack start off here.
Yeah, so this is the last part here, and we're just going to quickly start off here right away. So in 8th place, I have the Montreal Canadiens. So I don't know if there's much surprise here. I think this is like probably the best division in hockey right now. But Montreal is like the one outlier that I kind of see as, not really there yet to make the next step. They do have like a pretty like young, exciting future, I think, for sure. Like I like what they did in the offseason. They got Alex Newhook. I think he fits their timeline really well, and they have still a lot of really good prospects coming up on the pipeline, but just a still really underdeveloped team. They have, again, like I said, a lot of good prospects, but just underdeveloped D-core and underdeveloped forward core, but they will eventually soon enough be good, but they're just still somewhat early in their rebuild right now.
Yeah, I totally agree. I have them last as well. I think they'll be good though in like less than people think. I think in like 2-3 years they'll be really good. I think this will be one of their like worst years for the next like 5 years, and then I think they'll be in like the maybe 6th, 5th, maybe wild card spot, and maybe 5 years down the road being in a playoff spot. But
I actually have them second last.
Oh, okay.
So I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to. I've got Senators last, so.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so in 7th place here, I have the Detroit Red Wings. So I was like quite high on the Red Wings, like going back maybe a couple seasons ago, but I haven't been a fan of a lot of their signings like the past couple off seasons. So because of that, I think they're kind of stunting their growth as a team a little bit with just bringing in a few ancients that are maybe not needed for their really like young, and it looks good, like a good young core, but it just seems like Yzerman is somewhat, I think just stunting their growth as a team. So because of that, I think they are going to finish still pretty low. But I do think in like any other division, they'd probably be like a fringe playoff team. But just because they're in the Atlantic and it's so like strong, I think they're going to be 7th, unfortunately.
I have them at 6th. I just don't see a future for them. I think they're not the worst team. Like I think they're better than like we'll come back to that, but I see them at 6th just because of like they have a bit of talent right now, but I don't see a future for them right now with Yzerman obviously as the team.
Yeah. So I have them at 6th. They're not like, it's a really strong division, right? So they're better than some teams for sure, but they're not a good team.
No.
Especially not in this division. And yeah, I think you guys pretty much covered everything. I don't have much more to say about them.
I think it is kind of like unfortunate too, because I know they do have like playoff aspirations this season. Like they brought in like DeBrincat and stuff, and they're rumored to be interested in Kane too. So maybe if they bring in Kane, we'll see. But I think even if they did bring in Kane, I don't know if I see them as a playoff team.
I just don't. They're not relevant, Like I just don't see them as a.
That's fair.
Like people don't really look at them as like a playoff team at all. Like
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well at 6th place, I feel like you guys might disagree with this a bit, but I have the Florida Panthers. So to be honest, okay, so you got to hear me out on this one. But the Florida Panthers, obviously last year they went to the Cup final or whatever, but their two best defensemen are out pretty much for half the season. Montour and Ekblad are out till like, I think January or something. So without those two, their D-core is pretty bad, not going to lie. And up front, I mean, they do have like Kachuk, obviously he's like all-star in the league, and then Barkov and Verhaeghe. Like their forward core is by no means bad, but again, just in such a stacked division, I do think they might struggle a little bit, especially with that D-core now. And then I'm not sold on Bobrovsky. Ever since he's been in Florida, he's never been that great aside from the last playoff run. I know he was crazy, but I don't really know if he'll be able to. I don't know if he'll be able to bring that over into the next season.
Yeah, I think we have a total different list. I had them at a 2nd.
So. 2nd, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually had them at 4th originally, and then I just switched around like just before we started this. I don't know. I
Wow.
might regret putting them at 2nd, but I still think like Kachuk is insane. Like he's healthy now. He's gonna be
Yeah.
back, and he's like such a good. I think he's a good leader, and I think Rob's gonna have a great season. He didn't play insane in the regular season last year, but I think he'll be great this season.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I do like see the side of them being really good. Like I did think about it a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I have them at 4th, so kind of mid-range. Like,
Middle there, yeah.
I don't think they're going to be quite as good as they were last year just because of the injuries. But another thing about that is they're such an offensive team, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so the defense side of things, in my opinion, doesn't hurt them enough to put them at, what, do you have them at 7th?
I have them 6th, yeah.
So that's a little too low in my opinion, but just see how it goes for them.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I just think, I don't know, like who is their number one D man right now? That's just the one question I have. Like, I don't know. Like, is it they got OEL? What's his full name? OEL.
Ekman Larson.
Yeah. Yeah. So they got Oliver. They have Oliver Ekman Larson.
He's their number one D man.
Yeah, but that's the issue is he can't really be that. So we'll see. But I can for sure see them being better. But this is probably my biggest hot take, and I wanted to at least have like a few. All right, at 5th. At 5th, I have Boston. Now I actually wanted to have them lower, honestly. Like now thinking about it, I probably could switch Boston and Florida, but I have Boston at 5. They lost so much this offseason. They're probably gonna have the biggest like point drop off from season to season for a team this upcoming season. But they still do have like a lot of really good players. Like their D-core is still like top 5 in the league probably, and then they have Pasternak, Marchand still gonna be decent. The forward core isn't looking great other than those two, but then in the back end they have Allmark and Swayman to like back it up. So I still do think they will end up probably being like a wild card team, but we'll have to see. They're for sure not going to be as good as they were last year at all. Pretty mid, I think.
Yeah, I still think they're going to make the playoffs. I have them in at 4, so the first wild card spot. I this is a hot, or not really that hot take, but Lucic is not a good player. Like
no,
adding him was not the move.
No, I think it's mostly for nostalgia.
Yeah, probably. But I think that's a downgrade to the team, if anything. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I feel bad that they have to take that on in a way. But yeah, I have them in at 4, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I have them at 5th as well. I definitely agree that adding Lucic was not a good move for the team. I think maybe their kind of thought process with that was add Lucic because he's probably retired after this season. Like I can't see him playing past this season.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
So add him now, sell more tickets just because of the nostalgia kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think they just maybe expect to not be the greatest team this year.
Yeah.
So
honestly, it is kind of weird. Like I don't really know kind of what their plan is really after this because they just have like so much gone now, but they're not bad, but they're not good. Like, and they don't have any good prospects. So I don't know. Yeah. It should be. It wouldn't even surprise me honestly if they're like bottom 3 in this division, but I just can't see that with the goaltending.
It'd be so weird to see them like bottom 3 just because they've been like a good team for so long.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
it would be
never been bad, but we'll see.
Okay, so moving on to 4th place, I have the Ottawa Senators. So I'm pretty high on the Senators this year. I really like what they've done, like just the past few off seasons. Obviously, they lost to Brinkout, which I think kind of sucks, but they did replace that with Tarasenko, who I think will be a pretty good short-term fix for that. And then they added Korpisalo, who they are hoping to be their starter. I don't know if he is going to be that guy. We'll have to see. And then obviously on defense, I think they're pretty stacked, especially for the future. They have like Chychrun, Chabot, and Sanderson. So they're going to be good. I think they'll end up being the first wild card. But yeah, I think last year even they had like playoff aspirations and they fell a bit short. But this year I think they're going to be even better, especially with all their younger players are now like a year older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think me and Carson here are going to have to disagree with this list.
Yeah.
me and Carson were talking before this, actually, before you got on, and we both have Ottawa a lot lower on our list.
Really? Where do you have them placed?
Ottawa's at 7th on mine.
7th. Wow.
I just think it's such a strong division in my opinion, and I don't see them. I think I could see them being like 5th or 6th, but it's such a strong division, and I think Boston's definitely better than them. I see the Sabres are better than them. I think Lightning are better than them, right? So that's just why I have them that low.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, and then I actually have them last at 8th.
Wow. You have them last? You have them below the Canadians?
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
That obviously is maybe like really controversial.
That is a really hot take.
Yeah. So honestly, they probably should be at 7, but like Jayden said, it is just such a strong division, and I can't see them like they're just not good compared. Like they're good, but they're not good compared to the top teams in the division.
Yeah, that's fair. I can like see where you're coming from, but
I would
just
maybe
think, like,
switch that up and put the Habs at last, and then put the Senators at 7th.
I think just overall though, like they have Stützle, who was a 90-point guy last year. Like, is he not going to get better this year?
Well, he could, but like you never know, right? Like can him alone like put them above the top teams in the division?
Well, they
It's
also
just such
do have like Kachuk.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's tough.
Claude Giroux also had like a point per game season last year, so I don't know. Like, I guess I can see where you're coming from, but I saw some people, they had the Senators like 2nd in the division.
Wow,
Yeah.
I
Another
definitely.
thing is, wait.
Yeah, you go, John.
Okay. Another thing is, the Senators last year fell a little bit under expectations. I think like people
Yeah,
had
for
really
sure.
high expectations for them last year. Like even I did, honestly. I thought they were for sure in the playoffs last year, and they just didn't produce like everyone thought they would. And I could see that kind of happening again.
Yeah, I think if I did my list over again, I'd probably put them in like 5th or 6th. But for the sake of the argument, I'll stick with my thing at 7th there.
But yeah, I think like that's fair enough. But I do think like because especially last year the expectations were so high, they're gonna be a little bit hungry. And the thing too that I like about their team is they're not like all super young. Like they have like Claude Giroux and Tarasenko now who are like decent like veteran age to like sort of mentor their like younger players. But I guess we'll see. They're for sure gonna be, whether they're good or bad, they're gonna be a fun team to watch this season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving on into 3rd place, I actually wanted to put this team so much higher because I'm a top tier Buffalo Sabres Glazer, but I had to put them at 3 because it felt too weird to put them any higher. So I have the Buffalo Sabres placed at 3rd. I think everything pretty much about this team is like so good. Like I love their forward core. They have so many superstars. Like Cousins is going to be even better. They have Tage Thompson, who's nasty. Even their prospect pool is like gross. Like I don't know what they don't really have. And on defense, they have Dahlin, who's going to continue to get like even better. He's only like 23. And then Power, he had like a 40-point season last year as a rookie defenseman. I think he's going to be even better. And then the only issue I have with their team is in goal. Like I think Devin Levi is that goalie of the future, but I don't really know if he's going to be able to like hold it down for them to be like one of the best or like the best in this division just this season because of his age.
Yeah, I have them at that 3rd spot as well.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I had them 2nd. This list is like
it's hard.
I love them as well. I've been riding them for a while, but I think they're gonna be in that top 3 spot in this Atlantic division. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about them.
Yeah, I have them at 3rd as well. It seems like, again, with these like last episode as well, it's just tough to mix up the top 3 at all. But
yeah,
I think they're gonna be pretty good this year. I think give them a few years and they'll be such a good team. Like they're gonna be one of the top teams in the league. Yeah. There's no doubt.
The Glaze is gonna go crazy by me in like 30 years.
I don't know.
It might become a Buffalo Sabres Glaze podcast.
But yeah, I think like I wanted to also mention this. Like I think like I'm kind of going back to glazing, but because I know they've been in like trade rumors and like the Jets, they want to trade like Hellebuck and stuff like that. Imagine they got like Hellebuck, and then I also think if they could use like one more top 4 D-man, they'd honestly be like top 5 in the league.
100%.
What do you think about that? Is that too hot or what?
No, I don't think it is, honestly, but
I kind of hope they don't trade for a goalie, though. I'd like them to just like ride out Levi and let him take the reign rather than like getting some fossil that'll like maybe play for like 5 years or something. So
yeah.
okay, anyway, moving on. We got to get off that Buffalo Sabres glaze a bit and move on. So at number 2, I have the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think this is a pretty easy pick. I honestly thought about putting them lower, but at the same time, it just didn't feel right to put them lower just yet. They are getting a little bit older. A lot of their key guys like Hedman, Kucherov, Stamkos, Vasilevsky, those guys are all like into the 30s now, so they're getting a little bit older. But I do still think just because of how elite they are and how deadly their power play is, they're still going to be able to be a pretty good team for at least this season. And then we'll maybe after that see a little bit of regression.
Yeah, I have them a little bit lower. I have them actually at the 5 spot. So that's
So, okay. Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
those top 5 spots, those are like, it's going to be close, obviously. But I think they're obviously getting older, and I don't see them being. What happened in playoffs last year with them? I forget.
They lost in the first round of the Maple Leafs.
Against them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't see them going past the first round this year either. I'm not.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, they're just an okay team now. I think they're still really good because Atlantic's like a hot division, right?
Yeah.
With like Sabres, Boston, like Panthers, I don't think they're gonna be that insane.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. I have them at second as well, but like Jayden said, I don't think they're gonna do anything in the playoffs really. Like they're gonna be good in the regular season, I think, but once it gets to the playoffs, I can't see them making it past the first round either. And I think maybe their insane kind of winning streak is like obviously it's done now, but I don't think they're winning a cup for maybe more than 10 years. Honestly, now they gotta.
Oh wow, yeah. I still think they got a little bit of time maybe with this core, but I wouldn't be surprised at all. I could see this team easily like falling out of the playoffs just because of like how like better some of the teams in this division have gotten. Like I could see some of the younger teams like leapfrogging them, but just kind of like a, I guess, safe pick. Like from what we've seen, I can just still see them being decent. Okay, well, moving on then to the first place here, Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't think this is much of a hot take. I think it's to be expected. I know a lot of people like to banter on the Leafs, but they're always a good team in the regular season. Like no one can really argue with that. I think they did a lot of good stuff in the offseason, obviously bringing in like Bertuzzi and Domi and then Klingberg on defense. I think they're going to be really good, top of the league for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. I have them 1 as well. I think we all 3 of us do.
Yeah.
Except 1 yet. But I think signing Matthews, the new highest player in the NHL,
Yeah.
that's a good call on their part, I think. Like,
I think to get him on the team's good for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. The price is like a little high. It's like, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Like, not to go off Jack, but
honestly, like, I don't really know how to think about it. Like, to me, Matthews almost seems a little bit like just a money chaser. Like, I don't know if he's 100% sold on the like idea of winning a cup. Like, he's signing all these like really short deals to like super high AAVs just because I think he wants to like get as rich as he can. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You never really see Matthews as like a big part of the team in the playoffs, right?
No, yeah, I mean, like pretty common that he chokes.
I don't know. So yeah,
I can already hear the Leaf fans in the comments of these like TikTok clips.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually kind of like Matthews. I just like his play style and stuff.
Yeah,
but he needs to figure out his playoff game. Kind of like they're not gonna do anything if he's just not there in the playoffs.
Yeah. I just don't really like the way that the Leafs have kind of like lined up their money with the players. Like pretty much like half their salary is going to be into like 4 players. And
yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. Like kind of, I'm not the biggest fan of the deal. Obviously, like I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is good that he's like on the team, but it's only 4 years and it's so much money. Like it's not team friendly at all.
Yeah,
I think they have only like 4 years. I think they're like the actual status of the team is going to be like drop off after Matthews.
Honestly, yeah, I could see that.
So much invested in those 4 players, like you were saying, right? So
yeah.
when time comes that Matthews is going to be gone and they're like, they're like, oh crap, I don't know if they're gonna be good after like 5 years yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, after that, then I guess you just gotta hope that Matthew Nyes is the 90-point guy that every Leaf fan thinks he's gonna be. I commented on a TikTok post it was an Instagram post.
Oh yeah.
I said Matthew Nyes is the most overrated prospect in the NHL, dude, and it has like 300 likes now, and like Leaf fans just ripping into me, dude. It's hilarious. Still right now, I'm getting like noties. It's funny.
I saw that comment actually. I think you sent me the post, and I checked the post, and everyone in the comments was glazing Matthew Nyes.
Yeah.
And then you were the one comment that was kind of opposing that, and I could already tell you were gonna get like a ton of reply. Like you sent it to me kind of right after you commented, so there was nothing yet. But
yeah, I mean, if you check now, I'll send Jayden the post so we can see the comment. But yeah, it was kind of funny. I guess that was just a little funny like anecdote to tell to like end off the podcast. But I think I guess you guys can read off your list quickly if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll go first here.
All right.
So 8th Montreal, 7th we have the Ottawa Senators, 6th Detroit Red Wings, 5th I had the Lightning, 4th I had Boston Bruins, 3rd I had the Sabres, and then 2nd Panthers, and then 1st Toronto. And then before I pass on to Carson here, like we should come back after a year and just
yeah, we can do that for sure. Kind of do a review of like. Yeah.
How our list went, right? If we keep it here and then we see end the year, see like, oh, Jack's pick on the Ottawa is way too high, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we can do that I'll put together a graphic of all of our picks, and I can like post it or something.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So then my list, I have the Senators at last, which is, I think I would probably switch that around thinking about it now. I don't really know what I was thinking putting them in last.
Yeah.
Because the Habs, like, obviously it could happen, you never know, right? But
yeah,
we'll see. Maybe I'll be right. Then I have the Habs at 7th, Red Wings at 6th, Bruins at 5th, Panthers at 4th, Sabres at 3rd, Lightning at 2nd, and then the Leafs 1st.
Well, awesome. I think that pretty much wraps up everything. You guys got anything else to say?
Yeah, thank you for having me on here, fellas. It's been good.
Yeah,
to
have you.
Yeah, thanks, bro, for coming on the pod. It was a lot of fun. We should for sure get you on again sometime soon here.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime.
Yeah, that was sweet. All right, well, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. This is kind of wraps up our little series that we had going here. We want to thank you guys for listening, and be sure to, comment and just interact with all of our social media posts. It helps us grow the podcast quite a bit. And thanks guys for tuning in. Take care.